stage.
Bill Cosby returns. New defense team unveiled for comedian's retrial court case. Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. The sequel is being recast. Bill Cosby's new trial will get a fresh set of defense characters when it begins in the coming months, with high-profile lawyers Thomas Mesereau officially joining the Cosby team at a hearing Tuesday. The Southern California attorney is a familiar face to Angelenos. He successfully defended Michael Jackson in the pop star's 2005 trial. Mesereau replaces Brian McMonagle, the flashy Philadelphia defense lawyer who secured a mistrial for Cosby in June after a jury was unable to find consensus during nearly a week of deliberations. The move kicks off a new chapter in a legal tale that is becoming as long as its characters are colorful. And for those of you who are unfamiliar, Mr. Thomas Mesereau Esquire got the 5 little boys in the trial to literally stand up in court and say that absolutely nothing happened. The mainstream media, of course, never reported that, never apologized for besmirching and derailing Michael Jackson's reputation. In addition to the Mesereau-McGonigal switch, Cosby, led by spokesman and advisor Andrew Wyatt, has also replaced the LA-based civil litigation specialist Angela Agrusa with former Las Vegas prosecutor Kathleen Bliss and Pennsylvania attorney Sam Silver. The entertainer's retrial was set to begin November 6, but at the Tuesday hearing in a suburban Philadelphia courthouse, Judge Stephen T. O'Neill granted a postponement requested by the defense and said he wouldn't start the new trial before mid-March at the earliest. He said he wanted to allow the new defense team time to clear its schedule and catch up on the case. McMonagle and Agrusa were both in court Tuesday as O'Neill officially dismissed them. The judge showered the pair with praise, noting extraordinary advocacy and other virtues. The decision by Cosby and Wyatt to part ways with the team from the first trial was considered something of a surprise given its outcome. McMonagle obtained a mistrial with displays of righteous showmanship that sought to paint the prosecution as politically motivated. But there had been tension on the Cosby team spilling over most prominently when Wyatt held a news conference during jury deliberations without McMonagle's knowledge, pressing O'Neill to declare a mistrial. The move prompted the judge to excoriate the defense in open court a short time later. McMonagle was privately furious. Wyatt on Tuesday sought to downplay the tension, sort of. Quote, "People say there's bad blood. I like Brian. I'm close to Brian," the spokesman said in an interview after the hearing. "But when you have a chance to upgrade, you do it. We had a Mercedes, and we had a chance to get a Rolls Royce. You have to get the Rolls Royce." As for comment by The Times, McMonagle declined to offer a response. Mesereau certainly has been a sleek fixture on legal byways. A former Orange County prosecutor, the 67-year-old has made a name for himself as a silver-tongued defender of embattled celebrities. In addition to winning an acquittal for Jackson, the lawyer, notable for his stark white mop-top haircut, also represented Robert Blake at one stage of the actor's trial. His cross-examinations became high-profile televised affairs. Mesereau also has experienced on other cases, representing Mike Tyson during an investigation in San Bernardino County. Tyson was not charged in the case. He also was able to get Blake out on bail during the actor's trial, a rarity for defendants in such cases. And Mesereau at one time represented former Compton councilwoman Patricia Moore, securing a much lower sentence in the politician's notorious 1990s extortion trial than prosecutors had sought. White said he and Mesereau had been speaking for a number of years before the decision was made several days ago to bring him on board. The hiring of Mesereau sets up an epic battle of Angelinos in the Cosby case. Gloria Allred, the Los Angeles Barracuda, who represents a significant number of Cosby accusers in civil lawsuits, has throughout the criminal case been both a physical presence and the face of the victims. Allred and Mesereau have clashed publicly, including a noisy cable news confrontation in late 2015 when the constant charges were first filed. He has accused her of bringing a series of civil suits for fame and money. She has responded that she represents empowered victims, while he defends predators. Victims' rights group have said a new Cosby trial is important for both judicial and symbolic purposes, even as legal experts said the chances of finding 12 jurors who will agree to convict the entertainer were remote. O'Neill began the proceedings Tuesday with a short statement that captured the deja vu experienced by both courtroom players and observers. "We're back," he said. The new trial is expected to offer a replay of sorts from the June affair. Constant is expected to testify again with a few potential shifts. It is possible, for instance, that prosecutors could seek to have a different prior victim testify after Kelly Johnson, an accuser of Cosby from the 1990s, 50s, 40s, 1920s, was seen by experts as a less effective witness. Although different will be the juror's hometown, the first trial had drawn from the Pittsburgh area as defense lawyers sought to find a more diverse pool. But on Tuesday, they said they would stay in Montgomery County for jury selection. Though Montgomery County is whiter and more conservative than Pittsburgh, post-trial publicity would have made the Steel City a no-go. Many other Pennsylvania counties, meanwhile, would be considered more white and working class than Montgomery County, and thus unfavorable to Cosby. Do you see the dichotomy here? So if they go with the city, which is more liberal, more Democrat, Cosby would have a harder time finding a actually fair trial. Versus if he goes more upper class, white, conservative, he will have a much fairer trial. There's also a feeling in the defense part that Cosby remains a hometown hero in Montgomery County, where he continues to live part-time. The request to keep the jury local was the only time Mesereau spoke during the hearing, though he did shake McGonigal's hand at Cosby's table in a pass-the-baton moment before the lawyers was discharged. Cosby appeared in good spirits Tuesday. He chatted amiably with his new team and left the courtroom playfully, yelling a goodbye to a reporter, then posed for photos with his new lawyers. Montgomery County District Attorney Kevin Steele struck a more serious pose. A few minutes after Cosby left, he took a podium and expressed interest in the new trial beginning quickly. Quote, "It's a case that deserves a verdict," he said. Right. Well, he was elected to prosecute Cosby, right? That's not a conflict of interest at all. Seems kind of illegal too, doesn't it? At the very least, it's not ethical to run a political platform promising to prosecute somebody. It seems sort of Stalin-esque, right? A little bit of Russia stuff going on in there. What do you think of the new trial in the superstar Michael Jackson attorney? He got to the bottom of the Michael Jackson case, even when everybody had him dead to rights, right? They completely had written off Michael Jackson, and he was found completely innocent, or not guilty. And not just not guilty, he was found innocent because the boys stood up, all of them, and said none of that ever happened. Nothing, nowhere, no how, none of that happened. But of course the mainstream media didn't tell you that. Just as the mainstream media is keeping it a secret, all of the histories of these women in this case. And in particular, in this particular case, which I've gone over, watch my entire series. You will see it at the end of the video. Please like the video. YouTube has this robot that is in place now, but if the video gets tons and tons of likes, there's some sort of invisible line that you have to cross, and once you're above that line, it knocks off all the blocks, right? Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe. I'm trying to hit 50,000, remember? Thank you.